What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And if you've read the topic for this video, I know exactly what you're thinking right now. Oh boy, another fat neckbeard weighing in on the topic of religion on YouTube. That's exactly what the internet needed. Where's this fedora? I know, I get it, okay? But I'm going to cover some ground that I've never personally covered, and I think that it doesn't get covered very often, so I'd like for you to join me here and bear with me. Now, if you follow my YouTube channel recently, you'll know I uploaded a video making fun of Pope Francis. His name is Francis, and one of my most famous characters on my YouTube channel is Francis, so it was a natural pairing. A lot of people recommended it on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, and if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it here below. You can open it in another window, go watch it so you know what I'm referring to, and then you could come back if you'd like. But I really tried to softball the jokes in, and I think I did a good job. I didn't want to be offensive. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I know a lot of Catholics and a lot of other religious non-Catholics watch my channel, so I don't want to upset anybody. You know that about me. I don't want to piss off anybody unless you work for a game company that is really annoying or something. But the response that I got from that was predictable in some parts. A lot of people asked me about my personal religious feelings and asked me to make a video on the topic, which I'm doing now. But many other people were really in that circle jerk of hating religion and hating Catholics and hating, and it's just this orgasmic euphoria spawned in my comment section about, well, you know what, there is no God. Well, you're right, there is no God. Well, also, there's no God. Did you know there's no God? People who think there's a God are fucking stupid. Well, there's no God, you know. And so I want to talk about that today. And the reality of it is, the truth of the matter is, I do not subscribe to any religion. A lot of people try to tell me that I'm an atheist, and I don't necessarily agree because I've always labeled myself as an agnostic. And I'll explain why. I don't believe that any religion in the world has it right. I don't believe the Catholics or any Christian variant have it exactly right. I don't believe that the Buddhists have it exactly right. I don't think the Hindu have it exactly right. I don't think the Muslims or the Jews. I don't think anybody has it exactly right. There may be some truth in there. There may be something that may have stumbled across accidentally been accurate, but the reality of it is, I think most religions are not accurate, and I choose not to subscribe to any of them. Now, I've not read every book individually. I've read the Bible almost front to back, and I've discovered that book was not for me by any stretch of the imagination. I've read summaries of the other books and got an idea of what those religions entail. They're not for me either. I make fun of Scientology even though I don't really fully understand it. But then again, I think some of the high-level people in Scientology don't really understand it either. So I personally, I don't believe in that, but I leave room. I believe that I don't know and that I can't know. That it's impossible for me to know. I can't know that there's a God, but I also can't know that there's not a creator. And that I truly leave hope in my heart and in my soul and in my being for the possibility that there is more to this universe and more to this life than my stupid little ape brain can comprehend. And more to the universe and more to life than science can immediately tell me today. That more than what I can prove through scientific method, more than what is visibly readily apparent just by looking around me. And I hope for that. I want that. I want there to be more to this. I don't want to just die and rot in the ground. And because I have such a strong devotion and need and desire to want there to be more, to feel that there's more, there's no atheists in foxholes, they say. Foxhole being a place where young soldiers would go to die during the First and Second World War. The reality of it is, I think we all become religious on our deathbeds. So if you have ever been afraid to die, if you've ever been afraid of what happens to you when you pass, if you've ever been so alone because a loved one that you care about has gone, has left this earth, and you search for an answer for that, religion is the answer. And maybe religion is all made up. Maybe it is. Maybe some guy who missed his mother or father or wife or daughter so much that he needed to create a story for himself that said, when we die, there is an afterlife. The Indians did it. Every race in history came up with some answer. They vary, but they all have that common theme. There is an afterlife. There's some greater reward. There's something bigger and stronger and better than this. And because we all have that human fear, because we have that human longing, because we have that desire to want more and better for ourselves and the people we love, religion always will have a place in this world. And it doesn't matter how far you go to prove it wrong. It doesn't matter how far you go to, these are the facts. This is all the answers. Someone is going to come up with religion. You eradicate it. Someone will invent God in a foxhole. And that's why, whereas I don't personally subscribe anymore, I have a great tolerance and love and understanding for the people in my life who do care about religion. Now, I didn't used to have that tolerance. I used to be a belligerent shithead, even just 5 or 6 years ago. But I chose to drop that, and I'm here today to ask you to do the same thing. Now, I know there's a lot of bad religious people out there. I know a lot of them are altering the legislation in our country. I know a lot of them are out there are proselytizing. They're trying to change people's way of life and the way they think, and they are being bad people, bad Christians, bad Muslims, bad people. I get that. But two wrongs rarely ever make a right. And it's okay to be an atheist. It's okay to be agnostic. I think that, in fact, I think it's maybe even important that some of us are. But at the end of the day, if we want to be tolerated by these bad people, we have to be tolerant of the good Christians, the good Buddhists, the good, loving, non-proselytizing, non-rude, non-legislating, average people. And when you make them feel uncomfortable on the internet, when you make them feel unwelcome on YouTube or on Reddit, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because one of the most important things about life, one of the things that I discovered a long time ago, if someone has a belief, not an understanding, but a belief, if you approach them with opposing argument, opposing facts, it turns out that the human psychology is such that when we see opposing facts as something we deeply believe, it only strengthens our belief in what we believe. Well, that can't be right. Well, there's no way. There's got to be a God. There's got to be a God. I know we're all made of stardust, but there's got to be a God. God had to create that stardust. It's called escalation. I hate to quote Batman Begins, but it's called escalation. And when their hatred drives you to hatred, you drive them to further hatred and to further hatred and to further hatred until we're divided as a people, we're divided as a species. And that's exactly what I saw on YouTube that day. That's exactly what I saw on Reddit every day that I log in. It's exactly what I see every day amongst my friends. And it's disheartening and it's sickening because at the end of the day, whatever the answer is, whether it's reincarnation, whether it's heaven or hell, whether it's blinking into nothing, we all share the same fate. And your guess at this point is just as good as mine. Even if mine is backed up by scientific facts, even if mine is based on evidence, who knows? Who really knows? I'm always going to leave room for it, and even if I choose not to personally believe, and I'm always going to respect people who choose that puzzle piece to figure into their lives and make their lives richer and stronger and better. And don't be a douchebag about it. It doesn't matter what side of the argument you're on, whether you're religious, whether you're not, whether you're atheist, whether you're not. Just don't be an asshole. Simple as that.